Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Victoria Coren Mitchell. In the news this week, in Plymouth, a pensioner regrets trying on a virtual reality headset showing what life will be like under the Tories' social care policy.
Is it real?
In Leeds, one conference delegate from London suddenly can't remember if he'd watered the strawberries on his allotment that morning. And a field trip for the Shanghai Film School ends in disaster for the silent comedy department. On Ian's team tonight is a political commentator who is one of the first names on the list when any election show is looking for guests. Well, that's the alphabet for you. Please welcome Adam Boulton. And with Paul tonight is a TV personality and vicar who once said broadcasting was just showing off, or as the Greeks call it, epidikniomai. Please welcome the Reverend Richard Coles. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Adam, take a look at this.
That's the viewer.
For all of the shows, here she comes.
Leaving the studio before the debate starts.
She's giving jam free, all voters. That's her saying, no, I won't be coming. She was meant to be here tonight, but she just didn't want to mix it with ghastly hacks, so we've got Victoria. This is these debates which you've all been watching.
Of course, Jeremy Corbyn managed to crash the party. He decided at the last minute he had nothing to lose, so he might as well turn up.
Do you think that's what he did? He suddenly thought, I'm OK at television after all.
Yeah.
I went up against Paxman, I didn't die.
Exactly.
Why not just go and do another debate?
No, precisely. Although we call them debates, there is no debate with Theresa May.
No, because she's
She
not
hadn't
there.
turned up. She sent Amber Rudd instead.
Amber Rudd did rather well, didn't she? She got a big laugh. Do you know what she got a big laugh for, Amber Rudd, on the debate?
People will judge us on our record. Hilarious but gales of laughter, but...
Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
In your manifesto, there was a notable absence of costings.
Well, I would say, in answer to that question, judge us on our record. On our record, we have cut... OK. We have cut the deficit.
She had a little smile. She could see it was funny herself, couldn't she? She had a little smile going, oh, yeah, I know, a bit cheeky.
It's extraordinary. It's neck and neck. By the time this comes out, it may be that I think Corbyn's ahead.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Adam?
No, I can't tell you. We've been doing the election rehearsals, so...
Oh, right.
We know the result, but we can't tell you.
What did Tim Farron have to say at the end of the debate?
He had a lot of gags, Tim Farron.
Did he?
He did say, if Mrs May can't spare the time for you, you shouldn't spare the time for her.
Shall we have a look?
The Prime Minister is not here tonight. She can't be bothered, so why should you? In fact, Bake Off is on BBC Two next. Why not make yourself a brew? You are not worth Theresa May's time. Don't give her yours.
Right, he's thinking about his next job.
So now I'm worried about the applause. Do we have a very biased BBC audience, do you think?
It would be an outrage if we don't.
I'm already worried that I've made too many jokes about Theresa May and not enough about Jeremy Corbyn. Mind you, you say a bad thing about Jeremy Corbyn, you get enough shit on the internet if you're not Jewish, so... I think I'll leave it. They did both take part on Channel 4's The Battle for Number 10, didn't they? What
Yes.
did Jeremy Corbyn have to say in that interview?
Well, I think he said, why isn't Adam interviewing me? It was Sky, wasn't it?
No.
And Channel 4.
That was our thing, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's bad enough if the public aren't following the election. Paid journalists aren't bothered.
No, we did it with Channel 4 and it sort of seemed odd. What was the question?
Well, it might be...
This is turning into a Corbyn impersonation.
Well, I asked what Jeremy Corbyn said in the interview, but it might be quite difficult to remember. Shall we have a look at why?
Yeah.
I'm horrified
Here
at the
you
very
promised to
idea,
win-
at the
you
very
promised to
horrified at the
renew-
very idea of a
You
nuclear
promised to
attack
renew
anywhere
a
in the world.
nuclear weapon.
What I want to see.
I'm asking you.
What I want to
perfectly simply,
see.
Do you think it's morally
What
right?
I want to see. A lot of manufacturing industry
Haven't
that
you
relies.
done any sums?
Can I finish, please? Really, just for a second.
No, I'm asking
No,
you for a
I'm
figure.
trying to. But this manifesto
You
fundamentally.
persuade the cabinet,
Can I
the shadow cabinet,
finish
to
this?
no.
I've said
no.
Did you enjoy that interviewing technique as a viewer?
Not really, no. Okay, I believe you want to inform the public in interviews, and I don't think we learnt an awful lot from that interview.
Do you think there were other, senior broadcasting journalists who could have done it better?
And how did the audience show their approval of Theresa May at the end?
They let her live.
There was this sort of tiny little, not quite a Mexican way, it was like a sort of Mexican gesture, wasn't it?
Mexican gesture?
Like people stood up and sort of went like that.
Is that a Mexican gesture?
Yeah. Did you not have a one-man standing ovation?
Would you like to see it?
Yeah, lovely.
Theresa May, thank you very much. Thank you.
And the Scottish Labour leader, Kezia Dugdale, was given quite an unusual introduction by Sky News' Sophie Ridge. Do you know what that was?
Again, Adam, your channel.
Well, I was asleep at the time.
You and the audience.
Let's have a look.
Hello again. We're live from the Glasgow Science Centre, talking to all the party leaders north of the border. And joining us in our studio now is the leader of Scottish Labour.
I think that's magnificent. More Labour leaders. That's what we need. That's what we need in public life. You would never make such a mistake, would you, Adam? Should we watch you trying to read a front page headline of a newspaper?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
On the USA Today Money page, at the top there, Wall Street rally ups Brexit-like election risk.
So you'll be wanting a hard Brexit, will you?
I never knew I'd done that. One track mind, yeah.
No wonder they keep you behind a desk.
Now, I'm afraid we don't have a clip this week of Diane Abbott getting figures wrong, but we have got Jeremy Corbyn on Woman's Hour.
Just not getting the figures at all.
Let's see.
How much will it cost to provide unmeans-tested childcare for 1.3 million children?
It will cost. It will obviously cost a lot to do so.
I presume you have the figures.
Yes, I do.
So how much will it cost?
I'll give you the figure in a moment.
You don't know it? You're logging into your iPad here. That's a major policy, and you don't know how much it'll cost?
Can I give you the exact figure in a moment?
You're holding a manifesto, you're flicking through it, you've got an iPad there, you've had a phone call while we're in here, and you don't know how much it's going to cost.
Can we come back to that in a moment?
Anyone can lose the bit of paper. I mean, if you're a vicar, everyone would expect you to be able to quote chapter and verse from the Bible, but you don't hold the information in that way. So it's thou shalt not commit adultery, you know. Tiny detail. The Gospel according to Shrek, I don't know.
No, he was announcing the childcare plans.
Yeah, it was a big one.
I mean, it was that issue. So there were two things to remember, how many children and how much it cost. It was poor. I mean, it's difficult to spin it any other way.
I've just heard that Theresa May's now pulled out of doing Woman's Hour herself. She's been replaced by Justine Greening. What do you think of that?
Do you know that's in the same studio as Saturday Live? So I'll be detecting signs of nervousness on the seats when they go in.
That's to be discussed.
It's another edition of I didn't know a vicar would say that.
Do you usually sniff the seats?
This is the exciting news that the election campaign is nearly over. Theresa May warned that when it came to the EU, Jeremy Corbyn could find himself alone and naked in the negotiating chamber, something only achieved once before by a rat-arse Nigel Farage. During her interview with Jeremy Paxman, Theresa May insisted that what's needed to negotiate a successful Brexit is a bloody difficult woman. Luckily, that's exactly what Germany has got. After Theresa May missed the debate, the Mirror referred to the absent Prime Minister as Chicken Theresa May. You can order Chicken Theresa May in a restaurant near me. It's thin-skinned, boneless and refuses to be grilled. Paul and Richard, take a look at this.
Yes. Ah, yes, this is... Here he is, the bozo of the Western World. That's what his hair does at night when he goes to bed. In that shape. This is... Oh, yes, he tweeted a word.
It looks like a very incompetent logo for the Church of England.
Yes. So, yes, this is Donald Trump, and he's going to be sort of, because we're recording on Thursday night, round about now, he's going to be announcing whether America are going to pull out of the, you know, the climate change agreement and stuff. So that's basically what it's about, climate change.
And executed with his traditional sleek statesmanship as he greeted the Prime Minister of Montenegro, I think it was, with a friendly shove.
Yeah. Would you support, if somebody... Let me... is it right to hit him? Just once. In the face. Just once.
I might strongly advise him of the wisdom of turning the other cheek, if he'd like to try it a few times. Well, I don't know, it's the climate change, isn't it? I mean, it's the Paris Accord of 2015, the whole world, or nearly the whole world, signed up to it, and then Donald Trump thinks is going to make America great again by making sure everybody ends up with a tan just like his. But not out of a bottle, Victoria.
Welcome to another edition of Who Would Have Thought a Priest Would Have Said That?
I don't mean to be ungallant, but Victoria did reveal to us that she had splodged on.
Slapped it on straight out of a bottle.
As a tribute to Donald.
She's not going to rise to this.
I know.
She's going to turn the other lightly bronzed cheek.
You don't understand. Everyone's orange on TV now. If you come on a normal colour, people think you're ill.
Exactly.
So this was the early hours of Wednesday morning. He tweeted, "Despite the constant negative press kerfuffle," and left it at that.
Do you think he was trying to spell kerfuffle?
No, coverage.
Well, this is what somebody said on Twitter. They made a sort of dictionary entry where they wrote top definition, kerfuffle, when you want to say coverage, but your hands are too small to hit all the letters.
He sent out Sean Spicer, who is his spokesman, who is saying people who need to know what that means.
Did you see what the Eurostar did? They actually put up a sign on the main Eurostar, officially, looked like this. Back to the climate change agreement. There could be another reason why Trump pulled out of the Paris deal. Why is he annoyed with Europe particularly at the moment?
NATO payments? Something to do with that?
That's what he says it is.
That's what he says it, but it's not.
Well, the Scandinavians made fun of him.
Is it Macron's handshake?
Oh, they copied the orb.
Yes, let's have a look at a picture. These are the 5 leaders of Finland, Norway, Denmark, Sweden and Iceland. Literally the leaders of those countries.
World leaders are ganging up to make a piss out the American president. Brilliant.
Yeah,
it was a nice little...
When are they going to punch him?
And you mentioned earlier, Ian, what did Macron do to try and beat Trump in the public eye?
Oh, well, Trump does this thing of grabbing people's hands, other world leaders, really hard and, you know, giving them a bit of a shock. And Macron's been in the gym for years. So he literally said, I'm going to get him. So when he got his hand, Macron went... and he wouldn't let it go. And Trump was... No, he was completely crushed.
It occurred to me that Donald Trump is famous for grabbing things that aren't just hands. Trying to kind of just... Yeah, thank you.
According to CNN, how did Trump sum up his first foreign trip?
Where the fuck am I?
According to CNN, President Trump thought the trip was too long, returned lonely, angry, and he's gained weight. What What has Nigel Farage recently become?
Pleasingly obsolete?
This audience is so biased. He's become a person of interest in the FBI. I know, it's difficult to imagine. In the FBI inquiry.
It's exactly right.
They're worried that Farage was a bearer of discreet secrets to the Russians. I have another one of them.
You got to know America and Trumpland pretty well, didn't you? You travelled in America. Shall we see you getting to know the American voters on election night last year?
Why not?
Well, let's see you.
Cheers to you. Splendid. And do join me for our special programme tomorrow night. That's at midnight. I'll be speaking, amongst others, to Bernie Sanders. And, of course, full coverage of the inauguration on Friday.
This is Donald Trump's rejection of the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Also this week, Trump attacked the Germans over trade. The Germans are bad, really bad. Look at the millions of cars they sell in the US. He's happy to import some expensive European models, but only as wives. Round 2 now, and we couldn't really be bothered to think of anything original, so, Richard, we've just copied your big painting challenge. Welcome to the big news painting challenge.
Oh, this sounds exciting.
What news story is being painted?
Oh.
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yeah.
Paul and Richard?
Well, I sort of have to declare an interest here, but this is the interesting invention of a robot priest in Germany. Quite how effective as a dispenser of sacraments remains to be seen.
Well, shall we have a look at the priest in action?
Yeah. Welchen Segen brauchen Sie? Gott segne dich und behüte dich. Lasse sein Angesicht leuchten über dir und sei dir gnädig. Gott erhebe sein Angesicht auf dich und schenke dir seinen Frieden.
What name do you think they've given this robot priest?
Zeravata.
It's called Bless You Too. According to a German newspaper, it can give 31 blessings in 7 languages, and it asks if you want to be blessed in a male or female voice. Do you feel threatened, Richard?
I have to say, it does a rather more efficient job than some of the clergy of my acquaintance, but no. Actually, I think canon law, robots aren't allowed. I think when it comes to dispensing of sacraments, you have to be at least a human. In the Church of England, now you can be a woman, too.
Yeah.
This is the robot priest which gives out automatic blessings. It's rumoured that the Anglican Church in the UK is working on a similar model called C of E 3PO. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Paul and Richard.
Now, this may be a tribute to the late, great John Noakes. There he is. That's the footage they showed earlier this week. I remember seeing it at the time when I was at school, when he's climbing up Nelson's column long before Health and Safety, where essentially he's climbing up a ladder that's tied to Nelson.
It was incredible bravery, wasn't it?
At this level, the plinth on which Nelson stands overhangs the column. I found myself literally hanging from the ladder with nothing at all beneath me.
You told me there was overhang, but you didn't tell me it leant to one side.
No, that was the awkward part.
There's a cameraman up there with him as well, with a great big camera, and maybe even a sound guy. I mean, it's...
They've all climbed up.
Yes.
There was a sound guy, but unfortunately...
Yeah.
The sound engineer didn't record sound the first time he went up. He had to do it again.
Oh.
What happened when John Noakes and a few other Blue Peter presenters opened a time capsule?
This was one of the landmark experiences of my life when I was a child. Seriously. Who remembers it? 1971?
Yeah. Forget the call to the priesthood. Forget that moment of divine revelation.
It's why I do this now. They buried a time capsule, and it's the most exciting thing ever. And I realised in the year 2000, when they dug it up and they opened it, and they just turned it up, and this kind of brown sludge just poured out. And I don't know, it was not a good reveal.
It had all got wet, hadn't it? A last brilliant John Noakes story. What happened when he'd had a bobsleigh accident and he wanted to show the bruises on camera?
He showed his underpants or something.
Sort of. John Noakes himself told the story that when he took off his trousers to show the bruises, he noticed that he was wearing his wife's black lace knickers that he'd put on by accident in the dark that morning.
How easy that is to do.
This is the passing of one of the nation's favourite TV presenters, the great John Noakes. Get Down Shep became one of Blue Peter's most famous catchphrases, along with Here's One I Made Earlier, and one of our presenters, Richard, has done a very naughty thing. Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your four are Prince Harry, Tybalt, a dishwasher, and Charles Darwin.
It's an exam question. Tybalt was wrongly identified as a member of the Montague household in a GCSE English exam.
Ah, yes.
Whereas, in fact, he was a Capulet.
Yes.
And these poor students were asked why did Tybalt hate the Capulets, which he didn't, because they were his own family.
And what's the odd one out?
Dishwashers. It's recently been revealed that dishwashers are very good at washing...
dishes?
No. The answer is that dishwashers were also on the exam paper.
And so was Darwin. This is all in the last month.
There was a geography paper which asked students about dishwashers, and they said they'd been preparing for things like climate change, and similarly, I think it was a biology paper, and the question was...
Why had he been drawn like a monkey? In a cartoon?
And they thought because the reason why he was drawn like a monkey was because he had written the origin of the species.
You never catch on.
And then... And then Prince Harry is the odd one out.
Why?
Because they were using his voice in Germany for an English oral exam, and they decided he didn't speak the Queen's English. He was dropped from the German oral exam. There you go.
That's right. They're all... They've all been the subject of controversial exam questions, apart from Prince Harry, one of whose speeches featured in an exam question, but nobody could understand it. What was wrong with Harry's speech?
Well, I suppose if it was for Germans, if you're going, OK, ja, it's not a translation, is it?
It's not that. The problem with Harry's speech is that he muttered and mumbled so much that thousands of students literally couldn't understand a word of it. The geography students, as you say, were cross because they were asked a question about dishwashers. They weren't expecting it. Do you know what the question was?
Water.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
It was something like, more people are using dishwashers, why is more water being used?
Yeah.
And what percentage of the UK population owned dishwashers in 2001?
So it's on my laptop.
27% of the UK population owned dishwashers in 2001 and 40% in 2010, outline why the demand for water is likely to increase in the future. And, yes, in the GCSE biology exam, students were shown this drawing of Charles Darwin as a monkey, and they didn't really understand why. One student tweeted, "So does anyone actually know why Charles Darwin was drawn as a monkey? I thought he wrote A Christmas Carol until today." Tybalt, as you say, the question paper asked why did he hate the Capulets, and he didn't. He was a Capulet. As Shakespeare himself said, ignorance is the curse of God. Or, as the exam board put it, we are urgently investigating how this got through our assurance process. Another criticism of the GCSE English exam was that it focused less on Romeo and Juliet and more on the characters Gregory and Samson. One student had no problem with that question, tweeting, "I'm quite happy the paper was on Samson and Gregory because last night I only read the first bit of the book, then fell asleep." Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features, as its guest publication, Oil Installer, the magazine of the heating industry.
That looks like my local priest.
And we start with, I look forward to the arrival of Oil Installer magazine, but
I must get out more instead.
If anyone gets this, I'll give you £100 of my own money.
OK, right, here we go. I look forward to the arrival of All Installer magazine, but I wish you had more colour photographs to indicate the wide-ranging aspects of our industry.
The opposite.
I give you £100.
It's gone too
The answer is, I look forward to the arrival of Oil Installer magazine, but we are a niche specialist magazine and we should keep it that way. Next, what missing for more than a century rediscovered by scientists?
Theresa May.
The answer is faceless fish missing for more than a century rediscovered by scientists. This is the faceless fish that was spotted this week for the first time in Australia since 1873. According to the scientist who found the fish, you can't see any eyes, any gills or any mouth. I think what you found there, mate, is a stick. Next, what? No longer a dirty word.
Coffee.
Dirty.
Oil.
Oil, no longer a dirty word. According to Oil Installer, oil is no longer a dirty word. Well, that depends on your point of view. For some, oil is refined. For others, it's crude. And finally, big birds are more likely to what?
Fly short distances.
Cluck longer.
Big birds are more likely to be faithful. Scientists revealed this week that birds with small brains are associated with promiscuity, with females being the guiltiest of all. According to the research, the albatross was the most faithful bird, followed by the guillemot, while the common shag was what they called the sparrow who lived opposite. So the final scores are Ian and Adam with 6, Paul and Richard with 7.
Oh. Congratulations, sir. Well done. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant.
And I leave you with news that in Brussels, as world leaders gather for a photo opportunity, Theresa May insists that the UK and United States still have a special relationship. In central London, there's the unusual sight of a Lib Dem celebrating victory. On the campaign trail, one man's attempt to convince the electorate that he is strong on defence doesn't go as planned. And following her failure to win the French presidency, Marine Le Pen's head of security assures her that her campaign manager has been dealt with. Good night.
Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Steph McGovern. In the news this week, having lost the right to broadcast several major sports events, the BBC hopes to claw back some credibility by screening this year's Student Olympics. As the UK edges closer to a no-deal Brexit, one British resident suddenly realises he might never see his favourite French poodle again. And after another tense week on Strictly, the house band regret their efforts to help Claudia Winkleman unwind. Team tonight is a veteran journalist and broadcaster who says the best piece of advice she's ever been given was, life's not fair, get used to it. So, 2 points to Paul's team. Please welcome Joan Bakewell. And with Paul tonight is a TV presenter of one of our most popular afternoon quiz shows. He also has a season ticket at Fulham Football Club. So for him, weekdays mean pointless, as do the weekends. Please welcome Richard Osman. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Joan, take a look at this.
Was that a boo?
Who is it?
I can't possibly say, because there's an injunction.
Oh, boy.
And I know it's been revealed, but I think, you know, some of our distinguished businessmen should be allowed a little privacy. Were you in the House of Lords when he was named?
I wasn't. But
why not?
I was getting ready for this programme. It was in the morning in the House of Lords when Peter Hain revealed who had been the subject of the story in the Daily Telegraph, and it is now a big issue about whether you should be able to buy the silence of people weaker.
And it was in the Telegraph, Britain's top feminist magazine.
But also, you sometimes do things right.
Neither of you have named him, so we can still get the point.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Sir Philip Green. When I say Sir Philip Green, I mean Sir at time of recording.
Yeah.
Well, I do hope his lawyers, Shillings, really come for you.
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm free next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the news that Sir Philip Green has been named in Parliament as the businessman accused by a newspaper of sexual harassment. I should just say these are just allegations and Philip Green has denied them. Do you think this is a good use of parliamentary privileges, Ian?
Yeah, I think it's great. I've just changed my mind. No, I was just remembering there was an MP called John Hemming who just used to break injunctions and just shout them out in the middle of debates about completely different things. So they'd be discussing an order bill and he'd shout, "Ryan Giggs!" It's just incredibly funny. But I know your colleague was more responsible and had a point to make.
I bet he makes very good speeches, Peter Hayne. I bet he made that speech with great flourish. What is it about small, fat men?
Any others you want to name?
I've got a little list.
Yeah, I bet you have.
Go on, I want to hear it. This is good.
Well, it could have been a lot of other people, after all. We've all been speculating about who it could be.
Have you? How very irresponsible. And you, a baroness?
I should think Private Eye have been on it since the moment the story broke.
No, we weren't speculating, we knew.
Should we have a look at how Philip Green dealt with awkward questions before discovering super injunctions?
Yes.
It's not a super injunction. It's just an injunction. If it were a super injunction, we wouldn't even be able to say there was an injunction.
It was a...
I hate to show expertise, but I've got a bit of...
Should we have a look at him anyway?
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Questions?
Sir Philip, people want to know why you're on holiday when they think that you're supposed to be sorting out the pension deficit.
Will you go away?
Why won't you tell to people?
Will you go away?
I will go away. You can squirt with me water.
Go away.
Why won't you just answer a couple of questions?
Go away.
Have you got a message for
bit are you not understanding?
Hang on,
Go
hang
away.
on, hang on. There's no need
Just
for
go
any violence.
away.
We're asking you questions.
That's going to go in.
How are you seeing a man with a haircut like that and that not be your first question?
Now, it's been a turbulent year for retailers, so what will John Lewis stop selling from next year?
DVD players. A standard DVD player, they're phasing out.
There are a whole lot of things that are now not being stored in the store, but one of the things that is increasingly popular is the thong.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah.
Are you storing them up?
I mean, not at this moment, no.
There is no garment that is more uncomfortable than a thong.
Well, on that basis, and in light of the stats you're talking about from John Lewis, I've got a new game for you.
Yeah.
Hot or not?
Right.
Yeah.
We vote not.
If it's hot, it's gone up in sales. If it's not, it's gone down in sales.
I'm with you.
So you tell me which one it is using the fingers on your buzzers.
Yeah.
All right?
Lovely.
Trouser presses.
I'd say definitely hot.
Yeah.
Not.
They are hot if you turn them on, aren't they?
Yeah, they are hot, yeah.
They go with thongs, don't they?
Put the thong in it, you can press it.
Do you press your thongs? Hey, you dead posh, you. They're not. They've fallen by 36%.
Yeah, we said that.
Right. Yellow, hot or not?
Yellow? You can't just
Hot.
sell yellow.
Hot. Oh, yes, you can.
Can you?
Yep, it's hot. Sales have gone up by 400%.
What, of just, what?
Yellow thong.
Yellow? Like paint or tea towels or...
Just anything yellow.
Jaundice? Anything yellow?
Door knockers, hot or not?
In Salisbury, not. They're going for handles.
This is the news that Philip Green has been named in Parliament as the businessman accused by a newspaper of sexual harassment. He's known in the business world as King Phil and by people who've dealt with him as someone who's really king greedy, who takes king liberties. Coren Mitchell, take a look at this.
Ah, yes, the only known footage of woolly mammoths that died out millions of years ago. There's a man digging up the road where they found the remains of a woolly mammoth underneath some roadworks.
What was he doing there?
Waiting for a bus.
Which road was it?
The A14.
Yes, it was.
Was it?
That's amazing.
Who discovered the mammoth?
The man digging up the road.
Yeah, one of the A14 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The A14 team.
Yeah, one of the team on the A14.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Dean from the team on the A14.
Yeah.
How many of them?
14.
Yeah, it was discovered by road workers on the motorway between Cambridge and Huntingdon. Here are the workers with their find. That looks like a cracking drinking horn to me.
I thought they were going to take mammoth DNA and try to recreate one, so that we bring the mammoth back to the world.
I'll tell you what, if we do mammoth racing, I can finally... My lifelong dream is to be a jockey.
Really?
And, mammoth racing.
What else was found at the bottom of the ocean this week?
An ancient ship that was actually complete and came from about 2,500 years. It's a wonderful find.
This is fascinating, but not the right answer.
You let them go for quite a long time there, didn't you? Hanging themselves with their...
No, that was the most interesting find. It was a Greek trireme.
Yeah, but no one cares.
Yeah.
We care. We care.
No one cared. God, it's Philistine news.
It's a sea cucumber that's found.
A sea cucumber?
Yeah, or as the Express called it,
Yeah.
a headless chicken sea monster.
Isn't Headless Chicken Monster Boris Johnson's wrestling name?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah, well,
Come
I
on,
think
then.
I should in case I see one and I know what it is.
It's a plastic bag.
Well, it doesn't look remotely like a headless chicken. It looks like somebody mucking around inside a duvet.
What does the headless chicken monster do when it feels threatened?
Does it run around in circles?
It takes refuge in the ship that's down there.
Yeah.
Which no one cares about. Stop going on about it.
What's quite interesting is quite a lot of the goods were left on the ship that they'd been trading.
Much more interesting than jellyfish.
Anyway, what do they do? What do they do when they feel threatened?
They dig their non-existent heads into the sand.
Close. According to Forbes, when feeling threatened, some sea monsters can squeeze their agile bodies into small nooks and crannies. A few make their soft bodies go completely rigid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've been to parties like that.
while others choose to jettison their lungs through their anus.
I've definitely been to parties like that.
What is the monster also known as?
Edith.
It's also known as the Spanish dancer, which explains why Sean Walsh was recently seen buying a scuba diving outfit.
Very unpopular Strictly jokes.
Yeah, they are really unpopular, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, no, Strictly serious.
Ian's never been asked to do it.
Fake news, I was asked this very year.
Ian's not good enough to do it.
Why did you turn it down?
Have you not been asked?
Yes, I've been asked,
Oh,
yes.
good. You turn it down?
I couldn't pass the medical.
What did the medical involve?
Dancing, I would imagine.
Snogging outside pubs. Very rigorous.
Why did
Snogging? What is this, 1968? Snogging?
Why didn't you do it?
I've been asked most years for a long time. I don't want to do it.
Why?
It's not compulsory, is it?
No, it's not. But...
Tonight, dancing a foxtrot, Ian Hislop. With his partner, Pitt the Younger.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you fancy doing it?
I've had enough of judges being rude to me.
This is the discovery of the remains of a woolly mammoth on the A14. The woolly mammoth is about 130,000 years old, according to scientists, or 6,000 years old and put there to test us by God, according to the DUP. As well as the 130,000-year-old mammoth, workmen on the A14 have also found a 10,000-year-old meat pie, which was reduced to 50p at the nearby service station. Right, here's a bonus question for you.
That's Despots Weekly. Here we are. 2.
Men damaging the world. Yes.
Another one.
3 of them.
More. 5, 6.
Yes.
There are hundreds of them, Joan.
What we need are women.
What do you want? They can drive in Saudi. One of them was driving the getaway van.
Well, one of them is about withdrawing from the nuclear treaty. That's bad news. The other one's killing journalists. That's really bad news because we're journalists. And the other...
I think that's the important point of the story.
Yeah, because we're not journalists.
No.
We're less fussed.
Yeah.
Shall we start with the news that the Saudis have finally managed to do something to upset the countries who sell them weapons? So how did the Saudis try and explain themselves?
Well, they've got a different story every day. It's like the Arabian Nights. Every morning they come up with a new story about what had happened. Originally, nothing had happened, and that he'd left the embassy and he hadn't been killed. The next day they said he'd got involved in a fist fight and had sadly died. Then the next day they admitted that he'd been questioned and someone had tried to restrain him and he'd sadly died.
And then they dressed someone up in his clothes and left the building, and they said, oh, no, you saw him walk away.
Yes.
He isn't dead at all.
That was the most bizarre element of all. Nobody would be fooled by a man who has more hair coming out of the building than he had going in.
They said he was heading towards Salisbury Cathedral as well.
But yeah, what else did they try to do to cover their tracks?
They sent in someone to clean up the building afterwards. But it is extraordinary that the Turkish government has revealed all this. I mean, when you're being made to look bad in your treatment of journalists by the Turks, you've got a big problem.
This is what tyrants do. Tyrants oppress their people. Some are better at it than others. They're both going strong, aren't they? Bin Salman, Erdogan.
But he's new and tyrannical.
He's young. He's younger and tyrannical.
And we were told by lots of people he was reformist.
Yes, because
liberal.
He let women drive cars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but all the women who campaigned for women to drive cars are in prison.
To be fair, though, they did drive there themselves, so it's progress.
And Trump is not impressed by the Saudis at all, is he?
He's very straight about it. He says we get a huge amount of money from them. They're our main allies.
But he keeps changing the figure. He started off saying there was 40,000 jobs to be created, then it went to 400,000, then 600,000, and a day later it was over 1 million.
Yeah, should we see Trump explaining about that?
We're talking about over 40,000 jobs. It's 450,000 jobs. It's 500,000 jobs. 600,000 jobs. It's over 1 million jobs.
What's the British government's stance on the Khashoggi issue?
They are furious, yet still selling weapons, I think would be the official line.
Yeah, Dominic Raab told The Times, this is a terrible case, but Britain is not going to overreact, especially not with over £1 billion worth of arms deals with the Saudis at stake.
I'm hearing it's over 2 billion.
3 billion,
3 billion is it now?
Yeah.
4 billion, they say.
5, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone up to 7.
Wow.
It's tricky balancing trade deals, though, isn't it, with the morals, the principles. How have the Germans dealt with it?
There's a big conference in the desert with the Saudis trying to raise money, and they pulled out, and Angela Merkel made a statement.
Yeah, they've stopped selling weapons to the Saudis completely, and many countries, including Britain and the US, have pulled out of the Crown Prince's Economic Summit in Riyadh on ethical grounds, except which countries?
America?
Italy? Russia and China. Apparently they've picked up nearly all the unused tickets on Viagogo.
Tried to make me go to Riyadh. I said, no, no, no.
What is the other big Russia news?
The treaty.
Yeah.
Trump's pulled out of it. He's ripped up the Intermediate Weapons Treaty.
Yeah, Donald Trump is pulling out of a 30-year-old arms limitation treaty because the Russians have already violated it. He said, we're not going to let them violate an agreement and go out and do weapons, and we're not allowed to. What does do weapons mean?
That's also the first time he's pulled out of a 30-year-old anything.
Having once met Trump, That just makes me feel a bit sick, even thinking of that.
How was it? Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I had to. I was interviewing him. Would have been tricky if I hadn't. He was creepy, man.
What did he say?
He said, "You're so beautiful, I'm going to leave the room to make myself look better, because if we do this interview now, everyone's just going to be staring at you and not listening to me." Because he thought that would disarm me. He thought, as a female journalist, that was the best thing to say to me, rather than, "Oh, I watched your piece on, I don't know, mobile phone insurance last week." I thought it was So do you know what my response to him was? Love, I've heard better lines than that down Club Bongo. Yeah, this is the brutal murder of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which Western governments have united to condemn in the mildest possible terms. Now, you might think it's not a good idea for us to be joking about the Saudis, but don't worry, because they'll have turned off the minute they saw a woman was in the driving seat. And so to round two, the one-armed bandit of news, fingers on buzzers teams.
Yeah.
Here's the first one.
Do you know who this is?
It's the Brexit question.
So how close are we now to an agreement on Brexit, according to Theresa May?
95% there.
Yep.
We've agreed everything except the main terms.
Yeah, which, according to Theresa May, is 95%.
But she also is famous for having said it's not agreed until it's all agreed. So, in fact, we've not agreed anything yet.
The European Parliament's Brexit negotiator, Guy Verhofstadt, didn't quite agree with her, did he, on the maths? He said the deal was 0% agreed at the moment. He added, "Britain has always had difficulties with the metric system." Andrew Marr asked Dominic Raab an awkward question last Sunday. What was it?
Who are you?
Let's take a look.
Let's have a look.
In your bowels, do you hope for a November summit?
A November summit in your bowels.
Yeah.
That is...
It'd take some organising, wouldn't it? Catering alone would be a nightmare.
What did a lot of people waste their time doing in London this weekend?
Marching.
Is that a question? They wasted their time?
That's what's written down here.
I was surprised that Brexit was still going the day after. People seemed fairly sure it was going to finish. And there were some funny placards, and yet still Brexit continues. So I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, they marched through the capital demanding a new people's vote on Brexit. Speaking to The Guardian, one demonstrator, John Nichols, said, "It was exciting and uplifting, as if the entire clientele of Waitrose had gathered on Park Lane." Did any of you see the musician Bobby Gillespie on This Week with Andrew Neil?
Yes, and Michael Portillo.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most toe-curling, embarrassing piece of footage we've seen for many a year.
Which we have to show. Let's have a look.
Absolutely.
Like the Skibidi dance challenge bite.
I'm calling on you to say I want you.
You can't tell which is the This Week programme and which is the video. They've merged together.
And you ask me why I won't go on Strictly.
This is the government's handling of Brexit, which is going so well. 700,000 people decided to march through London, demanding a second referendum. Organisers denied the march was overly middle class before having a petition delivered to Downing Street by Ocado. Fingers on buzzers teams. Here is the next one.
There was a cat, an ordinary domestic cat, that was mistaken for a panther.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the cat or the panther. It looks like the panther to me, I would imagine.
Yeah, this is the news that a panther on the loose in Scotland actually turned out to be a domesticated cat. So how did the rumours of a big cat on the loose circulate?
People said, I've just seen a big cat in the moods. It looked like a panther to me.
Yeah, it was residents of East Ayrshire.
Where was this panther?
Johannesburg.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Say that again.
What? Johannesburg.
No, I liked your accent doing it.
Hey, have you been up to the hills lately? There's a great big panther up there the size of a cat.
That was Namibia.
least I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone, non-dancer.
Residents of East Ayrshire became gripped with terror this week after a picture was circulated online of a suspected wild cat roaming the fields.
Oh, my God. And it's fuzzy round the edges as well. Means it's undomesticated.
Yeah, the local police had to issue a safety warning, but the SSPCA later confirmed that it was just a large cat. What did Robbie Brown decide to do, which didn't help to calm things down?
Did he fake some footage?
Close. The 18-year-old welder made a metal cutout of a panther and then took pictures of it in the field to confuse locals. Here it is.
Good.
It looks like the cat had an injunction, so we could only see a silhouette.
We're going to stick with mistaken identities.
Yes.
Why were fingers being pointed at Friends actor David Schwimmer this week?
There was somebody seen on CCTV, it looks like him running off with a bottle of cider or a bottle of lager.
Beer.
A
Beer.
crate of beer.
A crate of beer, Your Honour.
Yeah.
And he really looks like him as well, doesn't
Oh,
he?
yeah,
Brilliant.
properly. Yeah, Blackpool police released the image of a man they suspect of stealing a crate of beer who has a strong resemblance to the actor. So here's Friends actor David Schwimmer and the main suspect in the Blackpool beer theft case. It really does look like him, doesn't it? They released a statement, the police, saying, "We have investigated this matter thoroughly and have confirmed that David Schwimmer was in America on this date." David Schwimmer also provided himself with an alibi by posting this from America. You know, over 6 million people have watched that online now, which has got to be his biggest audience for some time, hasn't it? I once got mistaken as a prostitute at Grimsby Fish Market.
By Donald Trump?
I was offered 4 cans of Stella. Honestly, this is true. 4 o'clock in the morning, I was going to film breakfast, and this fella comes towards me with 4 cans of Stella and a tenner, because he wanted me to drink the cans and urinate on him. And he was offering me a tenner for that.
Really?
I mean, if he'd have done 15 and Grolsch, I would have done it.
So what did you do?
The thing is, I got in a taxi afterwards, and the taxi driver said, "Oh, have you had a good morning's work?" And I thought, "Oh, you must recognise me off breakfast." I said, "Oh, yeah, it's gone quite well." And he went, "Oh, because it's been a bit quiet recently, because Sheila said she struggled." Who's Sheila? Time now for the missing words round, which this week features, as its guest publication, the Teesmouth Bird Club newsletter. And we start with giant inflatable what stolen from Kansas City Hospital?
Nurse.
No.
Bird. Giant inflatable bird. Bird pigeon. Wren.
Giant inflatable colon stolen from Kansas City Hospital. Obviously.
It's a punctuation theft.
This is the theft of a giant inflatable colon used by a hospital in Kansas for educational purposes. Dr. John Ashcraft says the 10-foot-long inflatable colon is a great conversation starter. What is wrong with "do you come here often"? Next. If you want to see a what on Teesside this weekend, then bringing what is highly recommended.
Is it if you want to see a hell of a sight on Teesside this weekend, then bringing 4 cans of Stella is highly recommended?
If you want to see a woolly mammoth on Teesside this weekend, then bringing in a woolly mammoth is highly recommended.
If you want to see a green woodpecker on Teesside this weekend, then bringing strong boots or Wellingtons is highly recommended.
Yeah.
Don't you think green woodpecker, though, sounds like Pinocchio's STD?
I do now.
And finally, Andy Batty, crowned champion at annual what competition in Derbyshire?
Crown champion in annual Do You Behave in a Way That Your Surname Suggests? He beat Colin Taciturn in the final. Hilary Sillery came third.
Colin Taciturn hasn't talked about it yet.
No,
has he?
no, very true to form.
Andy Batty, crowned champion at annual bowling competition in Derbyshire. Bowling is the art of mimicking the bellow of a rutting deer.
That's something you wouldn't want to do too often in a forest at night, is it?
The annual bowling championships took place this week. Shall we have a look at some of the runners and riders? needs more fibre in his diet.
Who judges this competition?
The rutting deer. Whoever wins, he has to sleep with it.
So the final scores are in. Ian and Joan have 6. Paul and Richard have 7.
No. Well done.
And I leave you with the news that at the Vatican, during a meeting with his cardinals, Pope Francis starts to have a sneaking suspicion the communion wine's been spiked. In Ukraine, there are further doubts about the quality of Russia's spy training as their top agent in Kiev carries out a Novichok attack. And in London, the BBC is criticised for airing the least surprising episode of Who Do You Think You Are? Good night.
Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Stephen Mangan. In the news this week, at an England training session, Gareth Southgate tries to win over his young squad by showing how much he's improved his penalty technique. At a Leave campaign reunion, David Davis hears that Michael Gove is about to throw himself off a balcony. And in Islington, on her first day in a new job, a Polish cleaner is given somewhat brusque instructions.
Oh, nice to see you here this morning. This is my house, by the way. Goodbye.
On Ian's team tonight, a German comedian who presented Channel 4's An Immigrant's Guide to Britain. Good luck getting a second series. Please welcome Henning Bain. And with Paul tonight is the leader of the Scottish Conservative Party, who's described herself as a tough old bird and a short-haired, flat-shoed, shovel-faced lesbian. Who writes your speeches? Donald Trump. Please welcome Ruth Davidson, MSP. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Paul and Ruth, take a look at this.
The pound is falling. That is illustrated by the falling pound there. I don't know who he is, but he's very happy to have PG Tips. PG Tips. Marmite. PG Tips from Marmite, and this is the danger of hay can suddenly explode at a motorway.
This is just typical BBC whinging.
Is it?
Yes. I mean, the suggestion the pound has crashed. I mean, it's gone down a lot and hit the bottom.
But it's bounced back up.
No, it hasn't.
Has no?
No. Anyway, we're not allowed to say that because we're boring old, sneery liberal Ramonas.
No, come on, it's just a government ploy, isn't it? To make the UK as unattractive as possible for migrant workers. What they want to do is send stuff home, yes, the disposable money. And if that only buys you a loaf of bread, well, obviously they stay in Poland then, won't they?
Well, you're still here.
Well, if I had any transferable skills, Ian...
I just said that in case Amber Rudd comes around with a clipboard. My team has a foreign worker on it.
Well, who knows for how much longer I'm considering the citizenship test.
Can you queue?
If I have to, I'll try to get to the front as quickly as possible.
Yes.
I wasn't even booked to be on here this evening.
It's the first one to get the towel down on the chair, essentially.
This is the news that the pound has been subject to terrible fluctuations.
Yes.
Would you like to see this expressed in musical form?
No.
Yeah, go on.
Are you sure Ian wants to?
Oh, if he
Ian
made
wants
the effort,
to.
go on then.
Here you go.
Was somebody employed to do that?
To put the drop in the pound's value into context, shall we play a little game called...
Yeah.
What can you buy for £1?
Yes.
You can buy 10 of those graphics for £1. Let's start.
Last Friday, could you have bought this for £1?
No.
Is the correct answer, yeah. In fact, I've got them here. These are high-five puppets. And they retail at $1.19. And last Friday, the pound was only worth $1.15.
Yes.
Donald Trump's welcoming hands, are they?
Well, yes. What about a cap that says badass? You buy that for £1?
Yes.
No.
No, you couldn't. No,
Oh.
that's $1.
No, I tried.
You did. $1.22, that cap. What about this? Could you have bought this for £1?
Yes.
Well, actually, no.
It went below for a while, didn't it?
It did indeed, especially if you went to Money Corp at Gatwick Airport, as Martin Lewis, the money-saving man, did. Money Corp were offering 97 cents for every pound and helpfully selling euros for £1.35. What is Brexit Minister David Davis particularly cross about?
Is he cross about the fact that people are going on about the pound, as you have been doing?
It was Ed Miliband and all the other MPs on all sides who've asked for a debate on the deal that the government is going to negotiate with the EU. But David Davis is refusing to allow any room for micromanagement, as he calls the workings of the House of Parliament. You a fan of David Davis?
I didn't really know him particularly well, but I'm getting to know him now in his new role, and, you know, hopefully he can do a job for us. We're going to need him to.
You go find this politics now.
What about the rest of the government? Yeah. Theresa May, like her?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to go through the entire...
Yeah, it's going to be a really long show and not a terribly amusing one, I have to say.
Oh, I don't know. I think it might get funny.
Who's been the chief winder-upper of David Davis this week?
Keir Starmer?
Correct, yes. He was the former Director of Public Prosecutions, or as Ian Duncan Smith called him, a second-rate lawyer, said the third-rate politician. But Keir Starmer, as the shadow spokesman for Brexit, had presented the government with 170 questions about the plans for leaving the EU.
I think 140 of the 170 questions from Labour were, who's now in our shadow cabinet?
Who are the new big beasts in the shadow cabinet?
Diane Abbott?
Yes.
She's a big beast.
She's the shadow...
She's a shadow foreign secretary.
You're allowed to say that.
You're a shadow foreign secretary.
No, I'm not.
Shadow Home Secretary. Who are the other surprises in the shadow cabinet?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. No. Shami Chakrabarti.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. She's been appointed Attorney General.
And why are these surprising choices for Jeremy Corbyn?
Well, Jeremy Corbyn said, I mean, repeatedly during his career, that you shouldn't just parachute people into the House of Lords, that you want to put into government, and the House of Lords is a disgrace. And then he appointed Shami Chakrabarti to be in the House of Lords, despite having said that, and then immediately appointed her to the shadow cabinet, which he also said was appalling when other Labour leaders did it. I'm not suggesting he's inconsistent or hypocritical. I'm just laying out the facts.
How does Shami Chakrabarti respond when asked about justifying sending her kids to an £18,000 per year private school?
This is when she said that she lives in a nice house, so it's OK.
Yes, she said, I have a charmed and privileged life. I live in a nice big house while other people go to food banks. Does that make me a hypocrite?
It's disgraceful, isn't it? Like seeing how something as basic public infrastructure like education, how can that be privately run? Surely it has to be run by the state. It should be the monopoly of the state. And it's just not a level playing field, and whoever takes advantage of such an unfair system should be utterly ashamed of themselves.
Oh, I don't know.
Now, don't applaud. I'm an absolute hypocrite, because given half a chance, I always use the M6 toll. At the poor man's turn of bye-bye! I worked hard for the right to drive straight. There's even a service station on the M6 toll. Always go in there, it's just completely different class of people.
Well, this is the news that following the Brexit vote, the pound is now worth roughly the same as a euro. Just as we leave the single market, we join the single currency. Great. As a result of the pound's collapse, Wednesday saw certain brands running low at Tesco's, including Marmite, Pot Noodle and Domestos, which really put the romantic dinner I'd planned for Mrs Mangan up the spout. Michael Gove did an interview with The Times this week. In the article, Michael Gove talks about David Cameron, saying, "I have nothing but admiration for him." He says Education Secretary Nicky Morgan is fantastic and Boris Johnson is a great guy. Michael, it's too late. Nobody's coming to your birthday party. Ian and Henning, take a look at this.
Yeah, here he is.
That's Boris. Putin checking on the end of the world.
Yeah, hippies.
Stop the war, I think.
Yeah. Jeremy having a good old time.
Has he joined a band? This is the war in Syria.
Yes.
Boris's first intervention as Foreign Secretary. He has had one idea, which is the no-fly zone. There should be nobody flying over Aleppo or over Syria. But the only people actually flying there at the moment are the Russians. So we need to shoot them down.
Yes, yeah.
Which, again, could trigger a world war, which will make Brexit look quite amusing.
Boris is a bit like the political equivalent to death by misadventure, isn't it? So it's just saying something, and let's see what happens when I say this. Oh, bloody hell, World War III.
Yes, this is the news that Boris Johnson has made his front bench debut as Foreign Secretary. He made a blistering attack on Moscow, accusing Vladimir Putin of being guilty of war crimes by the deliberate targeting of civilians, humanitarian convoys and hospitals in Aleppo. Weirdly, he and the government haven't made a similar attack on Saudi Arabia's behaviour in Yemen, but that must be coming soon, I'd imagine, wouldn't you say?
Next week now, you've mentioned it.
Yeah, yeah.
The funny thing was when he said about, and he was going, oh, it's a once great country on the brink of becoming a pariah state. I thought he was referring to the UK. Russia, oh, I see, yeah, them too, yeah.
Boris made another controversial suggestion during his speech. He said, I'd like to see demonstrations outside the Russian embassy. Where is the Stop the War coalition at the moment? Where are they? How did the Russian embassy respond?
It was furious.
Yeah, well, they did what any self-respecting diplomatic mission should do. They got very sassy on Twitter. Within minutes of Boris's comments, Russian envoys in London tweeted the Ministry of Defence saying, "What have you achieved so far? Russia's record on Syria is thousands of freed villages, thousands of tons of humanitarian aid. What's Britain's?" What did Major General Igor Konashenkov have to say about Boris's accusations?
They're not going to stop us.
He called them a storm in a glass of muddy London water.
Nobody insults our rivers.
Yeah, muddy London water. Piss off, Igor.
Yeah.
Say what you like about our government, leave our water alone.
Yeah.
The Russians are much keener when they fill it with polonium.
But in terms of Stop the War, it does appear to be that it stops some wars, just not any wars that involve Russia. Russia walks into the Crimea, absolutely fantastic. So let's be on the side of the Russians. The Russians are bombing Syria. Let's not raise our voice about that. Seamus Milne in Pravda today, backing it up. It's just, it really has stopped the West, and I think they're a bunch of shameless hypocrites and they should be called out for it.
I mean, the problem is that if you have a statement from Stop the War, who are against wars, and saying...
Just some wars.
It's very important for us to unite against the West. Just, you think, well, have you been watching this at all? It isn't the 70s.
Yeah, I wish it was the 70s. The Cold War, that was a lot easier to get your head round, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was the Russians, and there was everyone else.
Exactly. That's how I liked it.
Boris recently revealed some of his other dealings with the Russians. Did anyone see that?
No.
At a meeting with the Russian foreign minister at the UN recently, Johnson had asked British diplomats and their Russian counterparts in the room for a show of hands in favour of democracy. Much to my amazement, our opposite numbers just kept their hands on the table and gave us what we diplomats call the hairy eyeball. Anyone here know what that is?
A very, very poor bar snack.
Ruth, you ever felt Nicola Sturgeon's hairy eyeball? Ruth, what do you think of Boris?
I think that he's got a tough job and he's giving it his best.
Because you...
Fantastic endorsement.
Because you're friends again now, you did accuse him of peddling lies, didn't you, during the whole Europe thing?
There was a very big debate, and we've yet to see whether £350 million a week is going to go to the NHS.
Oh, I think we know.
Yeah.
Do you have confidence in Boris Johnson?
I,
You have confidence in the role of Foreign Secretary.
Because you seem quite equivocal in a recent interview.
How about saying, I have confidence in Boris Johnson?
I've always had confidence in the role of the Foreign Secretary.
That's what I said. Sorry, that's not the same as saying my sentence. I suggested you say, I have confidence in Boris Johnson. We know you love the post of Foreign Secretary.
Well, look, I sat down with Boris. We had a very good meeting. He's taking the role incredibly seriously.
Why won't
I
you
have
say
more
it?
confidence in Boris Johnson now that I've sat down with him than I have before. There you go.
So, Ruth, do you have confidence in Boris Johnson?
My confidence in Boris Johnson increases every day.
OK, good.
Is this like the pound increasing in value?
The debate on the unspeakable horror of Syria was obviously very important, but what did one group of MPs decide was even more pressing a topic for discussion at the exact same time?
What's for lunch?
Was it expenses?
It was the royal yacht.
It was exactly that.
It was bringing back the royal yacht. I don't know whether it's taking the royal yacht that's currently in Edinburgh, 2 miles from my constituency, and they're not having it back, and press-ganging Britannia back in, or having a whole new royal yacht.
It's a real passion, the boat, for Sir Gerald Howarth, who described Tony Blair's government's decision not to replace Britannia in 1997 as one of the darker moments of my life. Well, it does put the whole Syria thing into context. Poor Sir Gerald. What else has Putin been up to this week?
He's moved some missiles closer to the Baltic states.
He has indeed. He's moved some nuclear-capable missiles to the European border, which means they're in range of Berlin. That's your mob, isn't it, Henning?
Oh, bring it on then, mate. Nice to be having you.
This is Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson taking on Russia over the bombing of Syria.
Yeah.
The Daily Star claims Putin is planning World War III, and they offered a helpful map of the top nuclear targets in Europe.
Portsmouth?
And why are they bombing Dresden?
It's been done.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, Amsterdam's not a target. That's just the cloud of smoke that normally floats above. Well, one man who could save us from all this global turmoil is the newly appointed UN Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres.
Yes.
Although that does mean a sad goodbye to the wonderful Ban Ki-moon.
I'm making a list, checking it twice, going to find out who's gonna naughty or nice. Ban Ki-moon is coming to town.
It sounds like a sort of Wild West term, doesn't it? You know, you won't go out in a desert tonight, it's a Ban Ki-moon.
This is Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson taking on Russia over the bombing of Syria. A Russian firm has just launched a child bed in the shape of a missile launcher. You just put it up in your child's bedroom, and before you know it, he's annexed the bathroom. A Russian lawmaker and key ally of Vladimir Putin has told Americans, vote for Donald Trump or face nuclear war, which has left many Americans asking, just how bad can nuclear war be? And so, to round two, it's the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Yeah.
Yes, Paul.
Well, it's obviously Donald Trump. You can't help but feel that his opponents have been keeping these sort of leaked, recorded messages back until they made their maximum impact. And there was another one just today about him sort of making a remark about a 10-year-old girl on an escalator. I'll be dating her in 10 years' time, sort of thing. So, I mean, his attitude towards women is very, very much his attitude to the rest of humanity, really, I suppose. He's a dickhead. Does that answer the question?
Fair enough, yeah.
His basic problem is he's confusing the role of President of America with 1970s light entertainment comedian at the BBC. And the fact that everyone's tolerated him up to this moment, suddenly they've said, well, look, Donald Trump. He's awful. How could we have told? I mean, he's been campaigning for months and months, and we've never had any indication that he might be thoroughly ghastly in any number of ways. I mean, how are we to know? This is unfair.
Yeah, I'm slightly disappointed how that's all developed. Like, now it's just, oh, yeah, but Clinton did this and Clinton did that. And it's boring, isn't it? I much preferred it when he still had his blue sky thinking period. Like, yeah, let's build a wall to Mexico and we make them pay for it. And Muslims aren't allowed in and all that. That was a lot more entertaining than harping on what Clinton did 20 years ago. I think that whole contest has gone down the pan, to be honest with you. It was the only highlight. The only highlight was when I said, if I win, I stick you in jail. Now, that was good.
At what point was it not ludicrous that the presenter of The Apprentice in America could become the Commander-in-Chief? It's like saying the presenter of Have I Got News for You could become Foreign Secretary.
Mm. I'm sure that loyalty will be rewarded.
Yes, Donald Trump has had a difficult week. He's finally said something even he thinks he needs to apologise for. Publication of a video showing him discussing preying upon married women and kissing and groping women without their consent. Is it fair to judge someone on comments they made 10 years ago? I mean, you know, this is surely just youthful hijinks from when he was 59.
But he was even condemned by his wife, wasn't he? Which is sort of pushing it.
Yeah.
When the future First Lady says, no, he's appalling.
To be fair, though, that was Michelle Obama's speech she just stole. His supporters leapt to his defence. What sort of thing did they come up with?
We're too thick to know any difference.
Trump-loving radio host Bill Mitchell reassuringly tweeted, "Lol, the Democrats think hashtag Trump train is discouraged. We just stopped for new tyres." Ian and Paul, you both know a lot about trains. How long does it take to change the tyres? Now, we mustn't forget about Hillary. What's the latest accusation that's been levelled at her?
She's not Donald Trump.
No, that's her campaign.
She's quite unpopular, isn't she?
Well, she's incredibly lucky. I mean, there were some more emails this week that were released about Hillary in which she'd, you know, gone to a private banker's do and says, don't worry what I say in public. I think you guys are great and the only people you know about banking is you. I mean, that's quite damning for a politician. But she's very lucky. This week, Donald has literally trumped it by being the worst candidate ever recorded in electoral history.
Yes.
In any country, at any time. Ever.
In any contest.
And I'm including Vlad the Impaler's run.
Well, it's not quite a two-horse race, because there is a third option. Gary Johnson is the Libertarian candidate.
Oh, yes, he's
fingers
great.
crossed that he's the sensible choice.
Yes.
Let's have a look at him in action.
He's great.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
About?
Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo? No.
Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it.
Why is he wearing an earpiece? Because obviously it's not connected to anything, but otherwise somebody would have told him.
That's not an earpiece, it's keeping his brain in. This is the news that Donald Trump has had another difficult week. There is one Briton who likes Donald Trump. Nigel Farage compared him to a big silverback gorilla. Where's a trigger-happy zookeeper when you need one? Fingers on buzzers, teams.
This is
Who's
crazy, freaky clowns that are going around terrorising people.
Yep.
But they've been coming a cropper because some people are fighting back, and now a man dressed as Batman is now being an vigilante beating up people dressing up as clowns.
Yes, that's correct. Let's look at the Daily Star's soothing map of where incidents have taken place so far.
Look at that, most of that up north. And they've got bugger all else to do. Can I become Foreign Secretary?
So, from the clown's point of view, what are the dangers of this craze?
Well, people stop finding them funny.
Yes, true, but it could be more physically dangerous than that.
Oh,
One clown
being
was
attacked.
left with a bloodied nose.
A red nose?
Yes. an actual red nose after one of his victims headbutted him in revenge, saying, "That's what happens when you scare people, you get nutted." You've got a tattoo that says that, haven't you, Ian?
Yes, but to be fair, it is on his butler. It's on the butler, isn't it?
It's a dangerous pursuit, scaring people, as we see in this classic clip.
Are you going trick-or-treating?
No, probably.
This is the news that people around the UK are dressing up as clowns to scare people. According to the Daily Star, in one instance, a killer clown terrified staff at a fast food chain. He said he was from the Home Office Immigration Department. One local paper in Cornwall wrote about the sad case of Cos the clown, who claimed the killer clown craze could put him out of business. 4 years at clown school. There were a spate of...
You should have done 5.
There were a spate of sightings in Manchester, one of a clown with a chainsaw whose grotesque features were terrifying passers-by. But it just turned out to be Mick Hucknall trimming his hedge.
Mick Hucknall? Topical news quiz.
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's a Samsung phone, the Galaxy 7 or something. It's catching fire. It's one of the things it's not meant to do. You're meant to be able to get... It's got a fire app on it.
That's the right answer, basically. Yeah, this is the new Samsung have scrapped its Galaxy Note 7 after the phones keep exploding. Why is this particularly damaging for Samsung?
Well, they're a phone company.
Yes.
They make them.
If you were a big bomb maker, it'd probably be good. But they said last time it was the batteries, but they've changed it. And then they said they shut down production and then they brought it out again, and the phone still explodes.
Samsung have recalled their Galaxy Note 7 smartphone, which costs £739 and literally burns a hole in your pocket. Samsung also supplied customers with an elaborate kit to return their phones, which included a static shield that needs to be put inside a box, inside another box, inside a final flame-proof box. And they thoughtfully provided a phone number customers could call. Or a hotline, if you will. In other technology news, how could your house be able to understand you better? Well, according to The Times, researchers at MIT have created a device that uses radio waves and algorithms to detect if you need cheering up, so puts the kettle on.
You couldn't make it up.
Your house thinks you're in a bad mood, so it puts the kettle on?
Yeah. Maybe if you're smashing stuff or shutting doors quickly or...
Smashing teacups up?
Yeah.
Putting the kettle on would just be aggressive then, because that'd be a sarcastic remark on the fact that...
And I certainly would be in a right foul mood if all the white goods and the rest of the household, if they all had their own life and would be doing things on their own account with you asking them to do it, so...
And you get the bill.
Yeah.
You find out your fridge has been down a nightclub all night. Dancing with the ladies.
This is the best news for Apple since their last UK tax bill. The Galaxy Note 7 has introduced a new innovative twist to smartphone technology, because if you're holding one when it explodes, you're the one that's hands-free. Meanwhile, one data specialist has been tweeting about a kettle that can be controlled by voice recognition. We've all got one of those. You just go, "Put the kettle on, love." Could be a woman saying that, you sexists. Which means at the end of this round, it's Ian and Henning on 2, Paul and Ruth have got 5.
No.
Time now for the odd one out round. Ian and Henning, your 4 are Ed Balls, Andy Murray, Mrs. Troffea from 16th century Strasbourg, and black lace singer Dean Michael.
It's got to be dancing.
Yes.
Ed Balls is still on Strictly Come
Still in
Dancing.
there.
Unless This is a repeat, in which case he won. The man from Black Lace.
Did they not invent the conga?
They didn't invent the conga. Surely the conga had been going right back.
When did you start doing the conga?
I think Ian has home movie footage of Lloyd George doing it. 1921.
That painting has never danced.
Was she put to death for dancing?
Which one is the odd one out?
Oh, yeah, we still haven't got that one sorted.
Andy Murray's the odd one out, because all the others have got involved in dancing and he hasn't.
Is the correct answer. They have all led a dance, apart from Andy Murray, who broke with years of tradition by refusing to dance with Serena Williams at the Wimbledon Champions Ball. What accident befell Murray as he made his escape from the dance floor?
Did his phone catch fire?
Did he trip and fall over?
Yeah.
Is the right answer. He said, people were shouting, dance, dance, at me. I got distracted and I fell down the stairs. According to the Telegraph, after his Wimbledon victory, Andy Murray partied into the night, leaving 5-month-old Sophia with her grandmother, Leonora Sears, or Nice Granny, as she's known. Ed Balls has made it through to the 3rd round of Strictly Come Dancing after winning the nation over with his samba. Balls told the Mail on Sunday, I've been trying to cram in as much practice as possible. I've even been dancing on train journeys, which was all going fine till he tripped over some miserable old bloke sitting on the floor, moaning about the lack of seats.
You wonder why politicians see the need to be on any light entertainment formats. So what is the appeal? If there only was someone here that could enlighten us.
You should ask the Foreign Secretary that question.
Do you have confidence in Boris Johnson?
I think he'd be excellent on Strictly Come Dancing, yes.
Not the question I asked, but moving along. What nickname has Ed been given?
Glitter balls.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's actually slightly more unpleasant than that.
Oh.
The crew have started calling him Shrinking Balls. Since appearing on the show, Ed has lost half a stone due to the intense training and strict diet and cutting out booze. Due to this, the BBC costume team have had to take his costume in by a couple of inches, hence Shrinking Balls. What tradition hasn't he got involved in? Dance tradition. Donald Trump has done this, but not Ed. It's getting a spray tan.
Oh, yes.
His partner, Katia, tried to convince him. Ed's main concern was the fact he'd have to wear paper knickers. Ed Balls in paper knickers. Sleep well, everyone.
Anyway, is he planning to dance just in his underpants?
If he's got paper knickers and he's got a Galaxy 7 phone, there is a complete...
Frau Troffea of Strasbourg was the first victim of the 1518 dancing plague. She began dancing in the street, according to parish records. Within 4 days, she'd been joined by 33 others. And within a month, there were 400 people dancing, many of whom suffered heart attacks and died of dancing mania. Do you know what caused this mania?
Poison mushrooms.
Well, almost, yeah. The latest theory points to a poisonous ergot fungus.
It's only when I come on this programme I realise I know stuff.
Yeah. It's like an organic version of LSD.
Lovely.
According to Wikipedia, the plague began in 1518 when Mrs. Troffea began dancing fervently in the street, egged on by a young Mick Jagger. At the peak of the Strasbourg dancing plague, every 12 hours, 7 people died from exhaustion. Or to put that in modern terms, 7! Black Lace singer Dean Michael Betteridge revealed that during his time in prison, he led a 60-man conga line around the prison yard.
I know their records were pretty bad, but I didn't know he'd been sent to prison.
Doing the conga in prison, it's less a dance, more a trust exercise.
I'd like to be the one right at the back, to be honest.
Black Lace's albums include Party Party, Party Party 2, Party Crazy, 16 Greatest Party Hits, 20 All-Time Party Favourites, Black Lace's Greatest Ever Party Album, Action Party, What a Party, Black Lace's Live Beach Party, and after the court case, Guilty Party. Ruth and Paul, here are yours.
Yes.
People called Gary, the Bullingdon Club, the Japanese in the year 3776, and Diego, the giant tortoise.
Well, Gary's, I think there's a preponderance of Gary's. It's become quite a popular name.
The Bullington Club is going out of fashion because they can't get anyone in, so that's demise in demise.
Yes. They're all dying out except the tortoise.
Is the correct answer. Yes. They are all on the verge of extinction except Diego the giant tortoise, who has almost single-handedly saved his species from oblivion. Can anyone guess how many offspring Diego has fathered?
872.
It's very, very close to the right answer. In total, 2,000 new tortoises have been released from a breeding centre, and they estimate that 800 of these babies have come from Diego.
Go on, Diego.
So he's father to at least 40% of the island.
Yeah, get stuck in.
The name Gary is apparently on the way out. According to the Office of National Statistics, just 23 Garys were registered in 2015, all with the surname Barlow, all in the Cayman Islands. What name is more popular than Gary in the UK, with 32 baby boys and girls sharing that name?
Leslie.
River Rocket.
Adolf.
Accident. Mistake.
Liberty. Freedom.
How many babies?
32, both boys and girls, both been called this.
Francis.
32 babies have been called...
Hillary.
Baby.
That isn't a name. That isn't a name. Don't put me aloud.
32 people were called it last year. A German couple named their son after one of the biggest news stories of the year. Do you know what the baby was called?
Brexit.
Yes! Brexit!
It did not.
And 15 babies were named after a British politician last year. Any idea
Boris.
who? No?
But he might be the father, though.
Corbyn is the right answer. There were 15 Corbyns. One reason the Bullingdon Club is dying out is that the official uniform costs over £3,000. Another is that if you want to eat a meal while surrounded by people fighting and smashing up furniture, it's cheaper to go to a Wetherspoons. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Fish Pal.
Fish Pal. Pals of fish.
On the subject of fish, we would like to make an apology. In last week's show, Nick Clegg told you that Dr. Steve Simpson received £300,000 to study whether cod had regional accents. This was wrong. Dr. Simpson carries out this research for his own enjoyment and the greater good of humanity. Serves us right for trusting Nick Clegg. We start with what should be admired for putting up with all the abuse humanity throws at them.
White heterosexual man.
Salmon. Fish. Haddock. Bream.
Brown trout!
Trout!
Should be admired for putting up with all the abuse humanity throws at them. This is an article from Fish Pal about the brown trout winning a vote to become Britain's favourite fish. Next, German tourist what, wearing only a hat, fleece and shorts?
Casually.
No, the answer is German tourist tries to paddle channel wearing only hat, fleece and shorts. According to reports, the Germans set off from the French coast trying to get across the channel to Britain. You didn't manage it in 1941, Fritz. You're not doing it now.
Boring.
Next, what and a what had a brief tussle before parting company?
Britain and the European Union.
No.
Steve Watson and cod.
Getting closer.
It's John Watson and cod.
Oh, that's so good I've got to give it to you. Johnny Griffiths and a good-sized fish. Had a brief tussle before parting company. Next, hatred, mistrust, anger, bitterness and suspicion, what?
A really successful Tory party conference.
The answer is hatred, mistrust, anger, bitterness and suspicion thrive in English villages. You don't think that's true? You don't agree with that?
No, that's rubbish. Especially mine.
Where do you live?
Legoland.
Next, man's intimidating trousers. What?
Man's intimidating trousers cause consternation in local village.
Well, that's pretty much it,
Oh,
yeah.
no, it can't.
Trigger protest resignations on council. This is a county council meeting where one councillor's trousers were called intimidating. Here he is. Mr. Dowson says he owns 41 pairs of camouflage trousers. He needs that many because they're very difficult to find. Next, Shakespeare caused quite a stir within the salmon fly community. What?
When he wrote Halibut, Prince of Denmark. Pilchard III.
It's Midsummer Night's Dream.
The answer is Shakespeare caused quite a stir within the salmon fly community with a new range of rods. This is Shakespeare the Rod Company. As featured in Fish Pal magazine, Shakespeare and fishing have got quite a lot in common.
Here we go.
You sit around for hours getting bored and then everyone dies. And finally, Pope blissfully unaware what?
There's no word missing.
No, the answer is Pope blissfully unaware he was being photobombed by a dog. Here is the cheeky mutt. The incident happened at the Vatican as the Pope met with members of a dog agility group. The Pope blessed the dogs by making the sign of the cross, and after one of them defecated on his shoes, he made the sign of the very cross. So, the final scores are Ian and Henning have 5, but Paul and Ruth are this week's winners with 9.
Oh, victory. Well done.
But before we go, there is just time for the caption competition.
Theresa May going, now that's what I call a hard Brexit.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Henning Vane, Paul Merton and Ruth Davidson, and I leave you with the news that senior figures in the Labour Party hierarchy deny that MPs disloyal to the leader are being abused. In Cornwall, one pensioner struggles to understand why he's not getting any reception on his phone. And as more revelations about BHS emerge, Philip Green poses for a photo shoot in a doomed attempt to show he's not a prick.